So last week we worked our way into crow, and I said maybe this week we would try the side crow. So and I was going to practice, but I didn't practice, so I haven't done side crow for a while, but we may still have a go. And if you're not into hand balances, no worries, don't get freaked out. You can just do a twist, a lunge twist or a chair twist, something like that instead of the side crow. But anyways, sometimes I think it's fun to throw things in. So what we'll do, I've forgotten my clock, so just hang in there while I get my clock. So what you can do is you just start off in a seated position and just rest the hands on the legs and just focus on the breath, and I'll just get the clock so I can keep track of the time. As you inhale, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, as you inhale, you're pulling that air in, you're filling the lungs, expanding the ribs. Exhale, we're making that exhale just as long as you inhale. Inhale, breathing in as much air as you can. Nice long exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So what I want you to do at the top of the next inhale is just pause. Breathing in as much as you can. Then see if you can breathe in, get a little bit more air in. Breathe in a little bit more. And then exhale. Breathing in as deeply as you can. And then slight pause, and then see if you can breathe in a bit more. And then exhale. 2 or 3 more. Inhaling, pulling a bit more in. Exhale. Final one. Inhale. Little bit more air. Exhale. You might want to make sure you're on mute as well. I just heard a little bit of background noise. Let's work on strength, do a little bit of leg strengthening. This is actually more Pilates-like than yoga-like, but I think that's fine. Just adds a little bit of variety. So what we're going to do, we're going to lie on our side, and you can support the head with the hand, or you can just lay the head on the arm, whichever you prefer. The bottom leg it's slightly in, it's not sort of lined up with the hips, it's slightly forward, and the top leg is bent in front of that bottom leg. So we're going to work on the bottom leg. So we're just going to lift it up and down. That's all we're doing. We're strengthening the inside of the leg. We're just just lifting the leg up and down. This is going to, as I say, strengthen the inside of the leg, inside quads, which we need. We don't focus on those much. Now you're going to keep the leg lifted and just hold it still. And you're breathing. Whatever you do, don't hold the breath. You can feel that leg working. And then we're going to do little pulses. And usually I do like about 20 or 30 of these. I'm not really counting at the moment because I'm talking too much. So we keep going, you can feel it. I can feel it in that leg, and I do this from time to time. And then we're just going to circle. So we're going to circle in one direction. If you need to take a pause for a little bit, that's fine, because if this is new to you, you're going to start feeling this. And then circle in the other direction. And then bring that leg down. I can feel that leg working. Now take the other leg, so it's stacked on top of the bottom leg, and we're just going to lift that leg up and down a few times. So this time we're working the outside of the hip, the outside of the quads. And then we're going to hold it up. And then we're going to circle in one direction, nice big circles. And this is going to give you nice glutes. and then we circle in the other direction. And then we're going to pull the knee in and then straighten the leg. Knee comes in and straighten, and we'll do about 10 of those. Okay, that's a good leg workout. Now obviously we've got to work on the other side. So just get yourself onto the other side. Head supported, head can be on the ground or on that lower arm, or you can just support it on the head. Sometimes like down like this is good. Legs are slightly forward, and then we're going to bring that top leg in front, and we're just going to bring that bottom leg up, and we're just going to lift, raise it and lower it. Not too fast. Bringing it up as high as you can, high as is comfortable. And then we just hold it. And then we circle in one direction. And we circle in the other direction. And then we bring it up again for a breath or two, and then we come all the way down. Other leg, and we bring that leg up and down, up and down. And you're going to feel these muscles working, the outside of the hips. If you bring your hand there, you should be able to feel that working. And then we're just going to circle. My older daughter that lives in the UK, she's a Pilates instructor, and she does this from time to time, and the other direction, and she's now going through her yoga training. So she's 200 hours certified, and she's taking the 300 hour. So she's got hooked onto yoga, which is good. And then we bring that leg down, and we're going to come onto our backs. So just rest the forehead on the hands or on the mats, and just bring one leg up. It doesn't matter which leg. And this is going to strengthen the lower back muscles, it's going to strengthen the glutes. And then we're just going to pulse the leg. And I usually do about 30 of these, but if you need to take a break, that's fine. We've done about 20 so far. And then we just hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg, bring the other leg up, hold. And then we're just going to raise and lower the leg. That's 10. That's 20. That's 30. And then we just hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we slowly lower the leg. We come onto our hands and knees and into child's pose. Take 3 or 4 breaths. Child's pose, toes together, knees apart. Head is relaxed, head is supported. And then come onto your hands and knees. We'll do cat-cow a few times. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale, round in the back, tucking the chin. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Just go as deep as you can, keeping that back happy. Getting that motion, starting from the base of the spine, working its way through into the neck. The back should like this. There should be no discomfort in the back. If your back is in good shape, this should feel good. And then we come into neutral when we're going to bring the right leg up, inhaling, looking up, and on the exhale you're pulling that knee in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pulling that knee in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You're going to feel this in the glutes again. Exhale. Let's work on the other leg. Inhaling, other leg comes up, looking up. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then just sit on the heels. Let me face you guys. So we're going to sit on the heels. We're going to take the knees apart, toes together. And as I say, we're going to work our way into crow and then side crow. So I always stretch the hands out, as you know. We did this last week where we bring the hands between the knees. The fingers are pointing towards the feet. So the inside of the wrist is parallel to the edge of the mat that's in front of you. And we're just going to stretch those wrists out. And you can raise or lower the sit bones just to find the stretch that's good for you. If you're super flexible, you might not feel much, but this is quite a stretch for me. So I have to do this before the hand balances just to get my hands ready, my wrists ready. So what I'd like you to do, so keep the hands on the ground, push the thumb into the ground, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, and again, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and then slowly lift the heels of the hand up, bring the back of the hands together, and then just circle in one direction. Okay, trying to keep the wrists as close to each other as you can, and then we're going to circle in the other direction. And then shake the hands out. So the side crow, it's a crow, but you're in a twist. So we're going to do a few twists to sort of just get ready for that pose. We'll start off with a gentle twist. So I'm sitting cross-legged again. I'm going to place the right hand just outside the left knee, other hand behind you, and just a gentle twist. But you want to use that breath. Inhale, getting taller and taller. Exhale, getting into that twist. Turning the head, looking behind you. Breathe. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, we take the twist on the other side. So we ought to always take our time here. Don't shock the system. Inhale, getting tall. Exhale into that twist. Again, we're looking over that shoulder behind us. Inhale, back to center. Interlace the fingers. Extend the arms forward, shoulders retracted back. We bring the arms up, arms either side of the ears. We're trying to frame the face almost. We're looking up. Be kind to the shoulders. Stretch the arms out if it feels good. We bring the hands down, keeping the fingers interlaced. We turn the palms towards the ceiling, stretching the hands out. Elbows are in, so we're not hunching up. We're not pulling the shoulders out. We're trying to just stretch the hands out. And then we interlace the fingers behind us. We're pulling the shoulders down and shoulder blades in. We hinge forward, looking forward. Once you've gone as far as you can, you start tucking the chin and you start bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. Take your time here. Be kind to the shoulders. And then we slowly come back up. And let's take a little bit of a side stretch before we go into some salutation. So we place the left hand a couple of feet away from you, right arm coming up. So that left hand is on the ground. It's lined up with the hips. You're reaching up with the other arm. You're trying to get as much length as you can, and then you take that side stretch and you're looking up towards the ceiling. You're breathing. So that bottom hand, I'm pushing into the ground a lot. So I'm trying to, I'm not relaxing that arm, because otherwise this one hip comes up. So I'm trying to keep those hips even as I stretch out that side body. Inhale up, exhale over to the other side. So we're inhaling, reaching up as much as we can, and then we take the stretch on the exhale and we breathe here for a few breaths. Again, you're pushing that bottom hand into the ground, pushing away, trying to keep those hips nice and even. And then we come out, we come back onto our hands and knees. We tuck the toes, we come into downward facing dog. We bring the feet a little bit closer, and we're going to walk the dog. We straighten one leg, bending the opposite knee. And we'll do this a few times. This should feel good for the calf muscles. And then we're going to bring the right leg up, extended down dog, inhaling as you extend. Exhale, you bring that foot down. Inhale as you bring the other leg up. Bring that foot down, look forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale into Samastiti. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Half salute. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up, trying to get the back flat. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, breath core brings us up, reaching up. Exhale, Samastiti, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep those arms up, reach up, trying to get length. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward again. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Just hold it here for a bit. So the feet should be parallel. I like the big toes touching. I've got a little gap between the heels, and I'm pushing the big toes into each other. If you'd rather have the feet apart, that's fine, but keep the feet parallel. Inhale, as you bring the arms up, we're reaching up towards the ceiling, we're looking up. Exhale, we're hinging at the hips, folding forward and down. I'm looking up all the time. And then as I've gone as far forward as I can, then I tuck the chin and look between the legs. And then we come halfway up, trying to get the back flat. Come up a little higher if you need to get the back flat. We fold forward again. Keep pushing the big toes into each other. Inhale, breath core brings us up. Exhale, Samastiti. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. We bring the knees down. We bring the chin, chest forward and down. Keep the elbows in. Inhaling into cobra, opening that chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Cobra or up dog was that last pose. Downward facing dog. Push the thumb into the ground, index finger into the ground, little finger, armpits down, chin tucked. Back neutral, knees bent if you need to, but if you can keep the back neutral, you can start straightening the legs, bring the heels down. We come into plank. We're going to hold plank for a breath or two. And what I'd like you to do, we've been doing this a little bit in the last few sessions, is just keep the arms straight, but just drop between the shoulder blades, and then come back up. Drop, and then back up. Drop, and then back up. We're just trying to stretch the shoulders out. Drop, back up. Side plank, right hand to center. We stack the feet. You bring the left arm up. So if this bothers the wrist, you can be on the forearm. If this is a challenge, top foot can be down in front of you or the bottom knee down. If it's If you want more challenge, top foot comes up. If you want more challenge still, you take hold of that big toe and you bring the leg up towards the ceiling. Lots of options here. We come back into plank and then we do the same on the other side. Side plank, left hand to center, stack the feet, bring the other arm up, and you can have the bottom knee down, top foot down in front of you. You can bring the top leg up. You can even hold on to that big toe, pulling the leg up. A challenge. We come back into plank. Chaturanga or knees, chin, chest to ground. Inhaling into cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then we're just going to hang out in child's pose just for a few breaths. And then just come sit on the heels for a minute if you want. So it's getting pretty sticky in here. So quite often I'll have people join that are in the UK as well, and they're having a heat wave over there. So and it's more humid. It's like the East Coast in the summer. So at least we've got dry heat here. But I'm just going to open the window, open the door. Okay, back on your hands and knees. Come into downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward. Inhale, we come all the way up. Exhale, Samasthiti. So let's do a chair twist. We'll bend the knees. We bring the arms up. And we're going to take that right arm onto that left leg, palms together, coming into that twist. And then you can try this. You can take that lower arm down, pushing into the leg, upper arm comes up. You can get a little bit more leverage this way. You can go into a deeper twist if this is good. If you prefer to keep the hands together like this, that's fine. And then we come back into chair. And we'll do the twist in the other direction. You bring the left arm onto the right leg. I'm trying to get it slightly outside the leg so I can get a little bit more leverage. Palms together, elbow up towards the ceiling. You looking towards the side. And then maybe bottom arm down, left other arm up. Breathe. We bring the hands back together. We come into chair. And then we come all the way up. Inhale, chair. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We come into warrior one. So what we're going to do, we're going to do warrior one both sides, warrior two both sides, trikonasana both sides, revolve trikonasana. And each side, each pose we're going to hold for about 5 breaths. So what we're going to do to transition to warrior one on the other side, well, all we're going to do is just swivel on the heels and hold this. Arms can be parallel, or you can have the palms together looking up towards the ceiling. And then warrior two. Now warrior two, I'll walk that back foot out a little bit. And I'll keep the arms parallel. This hip, as I say, as I said before, my back hip tends to come out. I have to push it back. If I don't think of that, it's I forget a lot to do that. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And then Virabhadrasana 2 on the other side. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to go into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So we straighten that front leg. Now we're hinged forward, so we're hinging at the top of the femur. And we bring the right hand down. Wherever it lands, that's the spot for you. We bring the other arm up. Try not to come into the pose and then go deeper, because it's going to throw out the alignment. And then if you can, you're looking up towards that top hand. you're breathing. So both legs are active. You're pulling the insteps up, so it gives you an external rotation of the legs. So you're pushing the outer edge of the feet into the mat. And then we come back into Warrior Two, we swivel on the heels, and we straighten the front leg, and we do Trikonasana on the other side. So we're reaching forward as much as you possibly can. You bring that hand down, other arm up. You want to look up towards that top hand. You should better see it with your, at least with your peripheral vision, keeping that top hand nicely lined up with the arm. You're breathing. Insteps lifted, and this top hip, if you want, you can bring it slightly down. You want the length of the upper ribs the same as the length of the lower ribs if you can. So you don't want to be rounded in the hips like that. That's what happens if you start coming down like that. You can see it sort of, your spine starts to round. So you want to try and keep that evenness. Breathe. We come back up, and then we come back into Warrior Two, just to take a little breather. So we're going to do the revolved version. Sometimes this is good if you have a block. And I should have said have a block handy, but never mind. If you need a block, you can get it now. So the revolved version, I tend to walk that back foot in a little bit further, and then I sweep that back hand, and I like to bring the hand outside the foot. You bring it inside the foot if you prefer, and then you bring the other arm up, and use a block if you need to. So we're getting into a twist again. Breathe. And then we slowly come out, and we swivel on the heels, and we sweep that back hand, we're straightening both legs. You do a revolved Trikonasana on the other side. Take your time, use a block if you need to, opening up. Again, you're looking up, you're trying to keep that top handle nicely lined up with the arm, you're breathing. And then we slowly come out, and we take the feet wide apart. Wide. Feet are parallel. We bring the hands down, so the hands are underneath the shoulders, so the arms are parallel with the legs. You bring the right hand to center, another twist. This bottom shoulder is pulled back, away from the head and in, and then we open up, breathe. And then we switch to the other side. And we bring both hands down, and we start walking the feet together, heel toe, heel toe. And then bend the knees and roll up, and then back into Samastiti. So what we'll do, I think we'll do a chair twist again. Lots of chair twists, because that's going to really help with the side crow. And then we'll transition into the lunge twist. Crescent twist. So we come to the front of the mat. We bend the knees, back is neutral, knees, you can see the toes. We bring the arms up, and then we take the twist again, just like we did before. So I'm going to push my left leg with my left hand, so I can get that right arm outside that front leg, that left leg. Next, I take the right leg back into a high lunge twist, crescent twist. If you want, you can have the knee down, if that's easier for you, or you have the leg up. We breathe, and just like we did in the chair twist, you can bring that lower arm down, and the other arm up towards the ceiling. Breathe. We bring the hands back together. We come into plank. Chaturanga, inhaling into up dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two, just recenter. Down dog, I find the more I do down dog throughout the session, it's almost like a relaxing pose. You can just sort of recenter, get your breath back a little bit. And then we look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. This time we keep the knees bent so that we can come back into chair. And we do the chair twist. So I'm pushing into that right leg, close to the upper side with the right hand so I can get that left arm outside the leg, palms together, elbow up. And then we take the left leg back, high lunge or low lunge twist. Breathe. And then maybe lower that lower arm, pushing into the leg, other arm up. Breathing. Hands together. Back into plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. And we bring the knees down. Okay. Yes, getting a little bit warm here, guys. So what we're going to do. So we've stretched the wrists out. If you want to stretch the wrists out again, that's fine. Doesn't hurt to do that a few times. What we're going to do, we're going to work our way into crow, and then we're going to try the side crow. The crow poses are totally optional. If you have any wrist concerns, if you've got carpal tunnel, you probably should skip the crow poses because you're supporting the whole body weight with the hands. Shake the hands out. If you don't want to do crow, you can just hang out in the squat, because we're going to start off from a squat. So we take the feet pretty wide apart, and you can, just like last week I showed you how to do it on a block, you can do it on a block if you want. And you remember good contact between the arms and the legs, so I'm really pushing those arms into the legs to bring the hips forward. So you can just hang out here if you want. You don't have to go any further. But if you want to go into crow, you want to use the core, you want to keep looking up. So plenty of space between the chin and the chest at all times. Do not tuck the chin. Keep that chin up. Even when the head is coming close to the ground, you're trying to look forward all the time. So I'm bringing my hips up. I'm looking forward. I'm coming onto my toes, so I'm getting my knees higher up the arms. I'm resting the knees on the legs, and I'm leaning forward, looking forward all the time. And then I lift one foot up, the other foot up. I'm keeping the back rounded, the core engaged like crazy. It's almost like I'm trying to pull those knees together. I'm breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we come back down. So as I said last week, if your hips are too far back, you're never going to get up. A lot of people, the hips are back, they try and kick up. It's never going to happen. You've got to get that weight forward. So if your hips are back like this and you're kicking up, it's not going to happen. You've got to see how far back my hips are. You've got to get those hips forward. That's why I come onto the big toes. You're getting those hips forward, and you feel like you're going to fall, you're going to come all the way forward. But that's the spot you want to find. That's the light spot, and it'll just let you come into crow. As I say, if you don't want to do crow, you can just do the squat. That's the word. Okay, side crow. Now the way I get into side crow, the reason we've been doing so many chairs and twists, is we start off in chair like this. And then we're bringing both arms to the side. So basically, I've got the outside of my left leg on my right arm. Usually the back hips on my left hip will float. Sometimes it'll come onto the left arm, but usually it just floats. And then just like crow, you start leaning over, and you come into this side crow. And then you can straighten the legs, scissor the legs. And then you come out. It's a challenge. I haven't done that for a while, so it's a bit of a challenge. Anyway, if you want to try that, if you don't want to try that, you can just hang out in a twist. You can do maybe this twist again. Just hang out and just watch, or you can sit down like this and watch. Do whatever feels good. Free time, okay? But if you want to try the side crow, let's do it one more time. In fact, I'll do it from this angle. We're in chair. And I'm trying to get that arm round. I'm pushing into that leg a lot. So my hands are in line, and then I lean over and just let those feet float up. And then I try and scissor the legs, bringing the bottom leg forward, the other leg back a little bit. Breathe, and then we come out. Whew, I haven't done that for a while, so it's a bit of a challenge, but I made it. As I say, if it's not the pose for you, you could just do a regular twist of some sort. Now, of course, we've got to do the other side. So we come into chair. So this is why we're in chair. This is why we've been doing these chair twists, because this is setting us up for the side crow. I'm trying to get that left arm outside that right leg, and then I bend the knees. I'm pushing the arm into the leg, getting good contact. My back hip is floating. As I say, sometimes it'll come onto that back arm, but usually it just floats. And then I just start to lean over, and you try and get the balance, and then you try and scissor the legs. You breathe, and then you come out. I can't hold it too long. Phew. Okay, I think we need to take a little bit of a break. Let's go into child's pose. I know what you're saying now. Well, thank goodness that is over. Child's pose, make sure the head is supported. Just take a few breaths, don't get too comfy. And then come back into plank. So remember, this is regular plank. We're not going to sink between the shoulder blades this time. We want to keep the hip neutral. You want to make sure, if you look at my feet, the heels are directly over the toes. Never let those hips come down like this. It puts too much pressure on the back. If your hips are up like this, you're not getting any benefit. It's too easy. So go and try and get that back neutral. You breathing. Bring the feet a little bit closer to each other. Bring the right leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We switch legs, other leg comes up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. Let's try and move slowly into Chaturanga. You're rocking on the toes, you're bringing the whole body forward. You're trying to drop the elbows to 90 degrees. Some people can't hold it, so they'll just drop. So if you drop slowly if you can. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold down dog for about 5 breaths. Chin is tucked, you're looking towards the belly button. Hands pushed into the ground. Plenty of space between the fingers, but not too much space between the thumb and the index finger. We're pulling the armpits towards the ground. So that's giving us a rotation, external rotation of the arms. So you're pulling those armpits down, you're breathing. You're getting more length with each breath. Little micro movements. We bring the knees down. Actually, what I think we'll do, I think we'll go into pigeon. Because pigeon we can sort of relax a little bit. We can sort of just hang out in the pose. Just a regular pigeon. If this bothers the knee, you can come into a recline pigeon where you're on your back and you do that figure 4. But most of us are going to do regular pigeon. We come into downward facing dog. We bring the right leg up to the ceiling, and then we bring that knee forward, and we're lining. We're trying to keep the hips nicely aligned so the hips are equidistant to the ground. Right knee can be outside the hip or slightly inside if it's too much groin stretch. The knee should be happy. If it bothers the knee, you need to modify or come out of the pose. You tuck in the toes of the back foot, you walk in that foot back, and then we slowly fold forward, and we're just going to hang out here for a few breaths. Pigeon is nice. Gravity is doing all the work for us. You're just getting a gentle stretch around that right hip. You might be feeling it in the front of that back leg as well. The back foot, you want to make sure that back foot is nicely lined up with the leg. You're not sickling the foot, and I usually keep the top of the foot on the mat or the ground. You can stay in extended pigeon if you want. If you want to add a little twist, since we've been doing a lot of twists, let's sort of continue that theme. To get into a pigeon twist, we come into raised pigeon, and just like the chair twist, we bring that arm, so I'm bringing my left arm onto that right leg. I'm trying to get it a little bit of leverage here, and then we bring the palms together. Some people find this a challenge and they lose the balance, so just do the best you can. And then we slowly unwind, and then we will switch to the other side. So I'm tucking the toes of my back foot, I come into down dog, I walk the dog. Left leg comes up, extended down dog, and then we come into pigeon on the other side. You're bringing that knee forward, take your time. Don't rush it. If you rush it and you go in too deep, you're going to mess things up maybe. So keeping that knee slightly outside the hip or slightly more in line with the hip if you have any groin, too much in the groin. Sometimes it stretches people's groin out a little bit too much in this pose, so just be aware of that. Tucking the toes of the back foot, I'm actually grabbing the mat with the back toes and walking that foot back. That lets me get a little deeper. If you're really high up, a lot of people are high up like this and then they lean over. Sometimes a little block or book underneath the hip is good. But eventually, as your hips become more open, you're going to be able to make do without any support there. See if your hips and even the spine is in a nice straight line, no kinks in the spine. And then extended pigeon, you're supporting the head, and you're just going to relax here for a few breaths. And then we come up. And then if you want to stay down, you can stay down. But if you want to come into the twist, you come back up into raised pigeon. You bring that right arm onto the left leg. So as you can see, I'm trying to get the arm a little outside the leg slightly, just to get a little bit more leverage. And then try not to lean over. And then you take that twist. As I say, if you try and get the arm too far over, you're going to lose the balance if you're not careful. So just do what you can. And we release. We tuck the toes of the back foot, we come into down dog, and we walk the dog. We look forward, we walk forward, or just bring the legs forward. And while we're here in a seated position, let's do Baddha Konasana. We're bringing the soles of the feet together, so making this diamond shape with the legs. You're pulling the feet in, maybe, and then you're holding onto the feet, or you can hold onto the shins, just rocking from side to side a few times. As I rock, my heels are getting a little bit closer in, and once I'm happy with that distance between the feet and the body, I'll then use a lot of arm strength. I'm pulling those hips forward, I'm trying to get the back neutral, and then I just trying to encourage the knees towards the ground, and the inside of the feet are opening, just like opening the pages of a book. Eventually the knees are going to come all the way down. If your knees are high, if your back is rounded, my advice is to sit on a block, or at least sit on a cushion or a book, and then it's going to make it easier. By keeping the back neutral, is keeping the back nice and safe. You're breathing. If you want to go a little deeper, if you want a little bit more stretch, what you can do is start folding forward, keeping the forearms onto the on the inside of the calf muscles. And you can get into quite a deep stretch. Don't let it be too intense. And then we slowly come out. So while we're here, let's do a little bit of a forward bend. So straighten the left leg, bring the right foot inside that leg, extended leg, kneecap toes up towards the ceiling. These toes of that extended leg pointed towards the ceiling. The foot is flexed, dorsiflexion. Inhale as the arms come up, looking up. Exhale, we start folding forward. If you can't reach the foot, you can have the hands on the lower part of the leg, or you can have a strap around the foot, holding onto the strap. I fidget in this pose. I'll come up slightly. I'll try and bring those hips forward a little bit, and then I'll fold forward again. Now, if you're super flexible, what you might be able to do is to take that left hand on the outside of the foot and grab hold of the wrist with the right hand, and then fold all the way forward. And then we slowly come up. It's a really nice stretch. Another thing we can do, a little bit of a challenge this one, is we bring that left arm inside the leg. So I'm pushing into the leg. So I'm trying to get my torso facing the side of the room. You can even bring the hand around the foot, and you bring the other arm up, looking up. And then you bring the arm over the head. And then you bring that hand, top hand, towards that lower foot. But you want to try and keep the torso facing the side of the room. What happens if you come down and the torso starts to face the ground? You've gone too far down. So just go down as far as you can, keeping that torso parallel to the ground. Breathe. We come back up. And we switch legs. I'm always very careful with forward bends. Make sure the back is happy. If you feel any discomfort whatsoever in the lower back doing the forward bend, don't go as deep. Keep that back safe. That's the priority. We want to finish this session better than we started it. Inhale, sweeping those arms up. Exhale, we're folding forward and down. We're holding onto the foot of that extended leg, or holding onto the shin, or we're using a strap. Maybe this is fine for you. I then rock from side to side. I fidget a little bit. I'll come up slightly. I'll bring those hips forward. And then for those that are super flexible, maybe you can take hold of that right wrist I come back up. I try and get length and then gently fold forward again. Breathe. We come back up. We take the right arm inside that right leg. So I'm pushing the arm into the leg to get a little bit of a leverage. Other arm comes up. Reaching up, bringing that top arm over the head, keeping the torso towards the side of the room, and you're reaching towards that bottom, that front foot. Some of you might be able to touch the foot. Inhale, we come back up. And then let's just go onto our back. So I'm just going to swivel the mat round. Come onto your back, walk the feet in, pull the knees in, and start rocking from side to side. Extend the legs. Let's take a full body stretch. Legs extended, arms extended over the head, you're getting as much length as you can. Take a bit of a side stretch. So we're getting into that banana shape, We're shifting the hips over. We're walking the arms, hands in the opposite direction. Getting a side stretch. Breathe. And then we stretch out the other side. And then we recenter. And we're going to walk the feet in. Feet are wider than hips, they're almost to the edge of the mat. Arms either side of you, and we're just going to windshield wipe. We take the knees over from side to side. With the breath, inhaling as the knees come up, exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just do 2 or 3 more times, side to side. Extend one leg on the ground. So I'm extending the right leg on the ground. I'm pulling that left knee in nice and close. And switch legs, extending the left leg, pulling the right knee in. And then Shavasana. So we're taking the feet apart. So I've got like a couple of feet, maybe 3 feet between the feet. Arms either side of you, palms up, chin tucked, get length in the neck, eyes closed, and just let that body sink into the ground. Letting yourself get heavy, no tension held anywhere. Sometimes there's a bit of tension in the face, so just relax the face. Shoulders and arms relax. The legs, the hips sinking into the ground. Maybe lick the lips if your mouth is a bit dry. Just moisten the lips. Breathing is regular. Try and keep your focus, your attention on the breath. So if you're enjoying Shavasana, if you want an extended Shavasana, just hang out there. Otherwise, walk the feet in and just roll over to one side. Take a breath or two, keep the eyes closed. Gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale as the arms come up. Exhale as you bring the hands, the arms down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the palms together, palms at the chest. We'll take a couple more breaths and then 3 ohms. Join in Om if you want. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone.